So finally, in this video, I want to talk about referential integrity and Cascade Update. Let me make sure I'm not calling it. So it's enforce referential integrity and Cascade Update related fields. That's what I want to talk about, okay? So I'll start with enforce referential integrity. So what that's talking about is that whatever is in the child table in the linked part, usually the primary key field here, must be also over here. Okay, so let's go and look at the data here. I gotta pull it up. All right, so here in this primary student table here, we have this S number here, and we also have this S number, okay? And once again, we have enforced referential integrity turned on. So any of the S numbers over here, any of the S numbers over here in the child table must also be over here. So if we go and we look at the student information, semester information, and we open that up, we can see that this S number here and this S number here, they are also in the primary table. I'll just open that again to double show you. See? Okay. So, now one thing that you should know is that I cannot enter a S number over here that isn't also over here. And I'll show you what that looks like if I try to do that. So let's say I open this up and I don't know, we'll put 923 again, I guess, for grins. And then we'll put in S000030 and the semester 2019-20 math 121 group study, etc. 200, okay, and CRN 6558. Good. Oh no. Okay, so I don't need to fill out the other, but watch what happens. I've put in this S number here, and remember that this S number is not in the parent table. It is not in this primary student table. So watch what happens when I try to exit out of this record. It gives me this error. It says you cannot add or change a record because a related record is required in the table, primary student table. Okay, so in other words, because we have referential integrity turned on, you can have no orphans. You can have no children that don't have parents. That's one way to put it. Okay, now let's go back and look at this again. This is a child table and this is a parent table. Now I can go over here to the primary student table and I can enter in data here, S00000030, and I can say John's tricky, I don't know, whatever, and all the other information. But watch what happens if I click out of that record, so that now the record is saved. It'll allow that to happen. And why is that? Because this is the parent table, not the child table. In the parent table, you can enter data even though there is no matching record in the child table. So once again, if I go here and we look, there is no S00, S0000, however many zeros, 30. Here, there's none there. So that's okay, because parents don't have to have children, but children have to have parents. Put it that way. So sometimes in your essay for table relationships, or your supplemental activity for table relationships, I've had you see what it's like to try to set a relationship with and enforce referential integrity when you've had a situation where you've had a record in the child table and it doesn't have a parent. So let's try that. Let's put in a record that doesn't have a parent in it, etc. Whatever. The big thing is this thing. Okay, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to click, and it says, oh, that I have to enter something in the class. Okay, Math 121, and I'll put in intake. It's easy. Section 200, whatever. All right, so then I can come and click up here, and that record is saved. Okay, now remember, I deleted the relationship, so it allowed me, see, there's no relationship here, so this table allowed me to enter that record even though there was nothing, no S 00000040, or however many zeros are in there. But anyway, so the whole point is that watch what happens when I try to set up this relationship with referential integrity. I'll just do referential integrity, and I click on create. It gives me this error: can't create this relationship and enforce referential integrity. And the reason is because there is a child table over here that has a record here that is not over here. So if I want to fix that, I can either delete the record here, which you don't generally want to do, deleting records, deleting data. Instead, what you want to do is usually add the record over here. 40 Sam's, let's see, Fido, how's that? I don't know. But anyway, the whole point is this guy right here now exists, and it also exists in here. Okay, so that when I go and I create the relationship and I put on enforce referential integrity, I click on create and it allows me to do that. Okay, so I've talked about referential integrity. So now what I want to talk to you about is the Cascade Update feature, which is Cascade Updated Related Fields. But I'm going to call it Cascade Update because that's shorter and easier. So I'm going to demonstrate what it's like if you don't have this turned on. Okay? So I'm going to come here to the primary table, and I found out that this Fido Sam's, his S number doesn't end with 40. it ends with 50. So I go to change it. And then I click out of the record to save the record. And it says the record cannot be deleted or changed because table student semester information includes related records. So what that's saying, and escape is your friend, by the way. What that's saying is that over here in student semester information in the child table, there's a related record here. And so it can't change the other record because this one there's a record in here that is the same, that matches it. Well, so what do you do about that? Well, I mean, because you want to be able to change the record here, and but there's a record over in this table here, student semester information. What are you going to do? Well, one way to deal with that is to turn on this Cascade Update related fields. And so then what happens is that when I go into my parent table and I change the primary key value here, and maybe I'll change that to a 5, it will update the S number over here. So watch. Okay. So it saved it. It let me get out of it. I changed it to 5, and watch what happened when I go here. You can see that it's changed to a 5. It was a 4 and now it's a 5. Okay. So that's what Cascade Update does. And it's pretty darn useful. So I recommend that you use it in your relationships. It can make things a lot easier for data entry. Okay. So that's about it for this video. I've talked about enforce referential integrity, and I've talked about Cascade Update related fields. Remember that you have to have parents for all children. Really important in data relationships. Thanks.